to really consider like the plight of the quiet students we see in classes at Stanford, and I also wanted us to consider how we view these students, maybe what critiques we have of them, or our own judgments about them. And I kind of wanted to convey the urgency of just getting to know why these students are quiet, what they must be feeling when they compare themselves to other Stanford students, like the IHM student who's always speaking out in class and in section and stuff. And so a big part of my research was conducting interviews, but before that I had to go and review the literature and see what researchers were saying about why maybe there was a mismatch of cultures. So we talked about maybe the culture in a working class or the first generation college student, how that contrasts with what we see in elite universities, especially Stanford, that's telling you to speak your mind and be independent. So I was completely ready to conduct these interviews, and I was excited, but at the same time, which is funny because I'm the quiet student, I fell into the same notion about these quiet students are passive. These quiet students are disengaged. They're probably not going to be receptive with my questions. They're not going to want to answer me, and which is really funny because I've had my own experience. I know that's not true, and it's really easy to fall into that mindset. So when I went and interviewed a couple students already, I noticed the complete opposite. So it kind of made me kind of just stop and listen to these voices that we don't usually hear from. And I especially noticed that these quiet students were not quiet during my interviews. They aren't always quiet in class. They'll talk a couple times. They're not passive. They weren't passive during my interviews. They're not passive in class. They're constantly engaging in their heads. That's just how they learn instead of articulating it. And I was thinking, these poor students are being graded down for not talking. They didn't feel defeated. They were frustrated sometimes with themselves for not speaking up or not speaking up fast enough or being graded down for something they thought was unfair. But there was none of this very passive type of personality that I was expecting. And mostly there was just this strong emotion, and these students wanted people to be aware that there are different cultures, that there's just a different types of learning, and they all have suggestions for changing grading policies that graded too harshly on participation. So I just hope that my paper and my research is as loud as I heard these quiet students. Thank you.
Thank you, Maggie.